So today's topic is looking at volume and the associated candles that go with it. So right now I have the SPY daily chart open, and I wanted to talk about these two candles that are right here. This big red one right here, followed by this shooting star shape. So this is a huge bearish candle, which to me makes me think, hey, I think we are officially in a bear market. Now you may think, dude, come on, it's obvious. Like, look, we've been lower lows. But honestly, this kind of looks like it could be consolidation, but these two candles make me think it's not consolidation, or that it's a temporary consolidation and it's just gonna drop further. Because some people might be buying down here expecting a bounce back up, you know, and where that could happen, maybe that could be a temporary thing that happens, but I ultimately think we're going lower. And these two candles are something that makes me think we're gonna see a big drop eventually. So what's happening here is, if you look at this candle, this is a super bearish candle, and it had a really slow velocity going down, which is usually an indication of a bear market. And then that day, not only did it have a big volume, but it was followed by another day with even bigger volume, which is a shooting star candle. And a shooting star candle pretty much indicates that the bottom was getting bought up, so people were buying the dip, and then big institutional investors, or just big money, market makers, institutional investors, HFTs, are selling it back down in high volume. Because who can afford big volume? The big people with big money, right? So, you know, that's not retail investors creating big volume. It's institutions and market makers. So what that tells me is that they are preparing for a move lower. If they are selling up here, they're probably shorting, right? And then the next day, or they're selling out of this bounce, because, you know, this could be a really good move if you bought down here and sold up here. So they're taking profits from the bounce. And then the next 2 days, so yesterday and today, we've got average volume and then light volume on this pullback. And we actually ended up closing below the 427 pivot, which was what was tested previously on this day. So if I draw a pivot right here, we've closed below on both days. So I've been reading this book, and I'll show you. And it's really changed the way I think about trading. And just being able to analyze volume and price tells you a lot about what's going on. So I stayed out of trading today because there was light volume. And you really want to be trading when there's high volume. Otherwise, you could get into a pretty choppy situation. And these past 2 days are good examples of that. If I open up the 5-minute chart, look at this choppiness. You're range bound. You know, you're range bound between here and here pretty much. And you're testing this pivot again. And then yesterday, we had a good move up. So if you caught that baby bounce, that would have been a good time to sell out yesterday. But, you know, it was a really choppy morning. So if you would have to be, you know, waiting quite some time in the morning and sitting through all this chop here in order to get the sellout up here. So because of the light volume today, I thought, I'm not going to take any day trades. I'm just going to wait it out and see what happens. And that's what I did, because you really do want to be trading when the volume is high. I also want to show you this other thing that helps me determine the relative volume all in a watch list. And this is all in e-signal. So this looked like this all day. So I have this watch list, and the gray and pink bars essentially tell me on a 5-minute basis if the relative volume is dried up, light, average, high, or extreme. There was no extreme volume at all today, and usually there's like at least a couple. And during earnings seasons, there's tons of high volume stocks, and those are the ones that I'm usually looking at to trade for a day trade. So this dry up from today tells me I don't want to be trading. So the book that I was reading, Volume Price Analysis, you guys really should check it out because it's helped me a lot. It's opened up my eyes to understand how market makers trade and how the price of particular stocks and ETFs move up and down and why. And it tells you a lot about manipulation, why it happens, and when it happens. So I would highly recommend this book. I'm on my second read through right now, and yeah, it really is just eye-opening. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you to my 16 subscribers. And I will be back with another video and maybe another book rack.